Hi, I am Dr. Shiv Shankar Shukla, and today I will be discussing with you all about an interesting and learning episode of B.Pharm on the unit of X-ray spectrometry first, which is too important unit of the pharmaceutical analysis third, 8th semester. Let's start our episode related to module 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 while taking a look at what we are going to learn today in this regards. Now coming to the modules, module 1, an introduction to the theory of X-ray spectroscopy, module 2, crystal structure, module 3, space lattice, module 4, symmetry, module 5, crystal systems, module 6, Bravais lattice, module 1, introduction. X-ray was discovered by the German physicist Röntgen and found that unlike ordinary light, X-ray were invisible and they traveled in straight lines, which affects photographic film in the same way as light. X-ray were also more penetrating than light and could easily pass through the human body, woods, thick pieces of the metals and other opaque objects. In 1912, the exact nature of the X-rays were recognized, and in the same year the phenomena of X-ray diffraction by crystals was discovered. This discovery provides a new method for investigating the fine structure of the matter. The X-ray spectroscopy is an assembly of name for several spectroscopic techniques for categorization of the materials by using X-ray excitations. Before the discovery of the XRD in crystals, the measurement of the absorption of the different sample materials was done by using some important studies for quality measurements. Especially, Werkla had developed simple techniques for identification of the fundamental properties of X-rays when they were scattered by the different elements. Through this, the radiation departed from X-ray tube heterogeneous, which depends upon the materials of the anti-cathode. When it was passed through aluminum foils, the softener components of the radiations were consequently decreased, and finally the beam consisted of the rather homogeneous hard radiations. This hardness of the radiation depends upon the voltage applied to the X-ray tube. When such a homogeneous hard radiation of the X-ray beam hits a plate of the some elements, three kinds of the secondary radiations are emitted. One part is scattered radiations with the same quality as the incoming one. The other two parts, one of them is an X-ray radiation and other consists of negative particles, electrons, are characteristics of the elements of the secondary radiator. We are now familiar with X-ray rays, that they are electromagnetic radiations of exactly the same nature as light but of very shorter wavelength, 10 raised to the power 10 meter is equals to 1 Armstrong. So, X-ray are ideal to the investigate interatomic distance, which are typically of that order. Theory of X-rays. X-rays are high energy photons which produce when electrons make transitions from one atomic orbit to another. These transitions can be generated via photoelectric effects as shown. If we send a photon into the atom with energy greater than the binding energy of the electron in that atom, the photons can knock the electrons out of its orbit, leaving a hole or vacancy. Another electrons in the atom giving off an X-ray in the transitions to conserve energy can then fill this hole. This process is known as fluorescence. Many different atomic electrons of different binding energies can fill this hole. So, you would expect to see many energy peaks in the X-ray spectrum. This figure number 1 shows the generation of the X-ray by the photoelectric effect. Electron transitions to the K cell of an atom are called K X-rays, and transition to the L cell are called the L X-rays. Not only are energy levels labeled, but specific atomic transition are labeled also. Some of these levels are displayed in the figure 2. The K alpha 1 X-ray is emitted in a transition from n equals to 2, j equals to 3 by 2 levels to the K cell. The K alpha 2 X-ray is emitted in the transition from the n equals to 2, j equals to 1 by 2 levels to the K cell. The K beta 1 transition is a combination of all the transition from the M cell to the K cell, and the K beta 2 transition is a combination of all the transition from N cell to. Now coming to the next module, crystal structure. Atomic self-organize in crystals. Most of the time, the periodic array of the atoms is called a crystalline lattice. A crystal may be defined as a solid composed of atoms, ions or molecules arranged in a pattern periodic in 3 dimensions. When the solid is not crystalline, it is called amorphous. Examples of the crystalline solids are metals, diamonds and other precious stones, ice, graphite. Examples of amorphous solids are glass, amorphous carbon, amorphous silicon, most plastics. To discuss crystalline structure, it is useful to think about atoms as being heart shapes with well-defined radii. In this scheme, the shortest distance between two like atoms is 1 diameter. Many solids are crystalline, single crystals are polycrystalline. Some are amorphous like glass and do not have any regular interior arrangement of atoms, ions or molecules. Ignoring the actual atoms, ions or molecules, we will focus on the geometry of the periodic arrays. The crystal is then represented as a lattice, that is a 3-dimensional array of points, lattice points, each of which has identical surroundings. Now there are 2 examples, NaCl structure and CsCl structures. Now coming to the unit cells. The unit cell is the smallest structure that repeats itself by translations through the crystals. We create these symmetrical units with the hard spheres. The most common type of unit cells are the face-centered cubic FCC, the body-centered cubic FCC and the hexagonal close-packed HCP. The other exist particularly amongst minerals. The simple cube SC is often used for didactical purpose. No material has this structure. Then coming to the simple cube, body-centered cube, face-centered cube. Figure 4, different types of the unit cells, that is basically simple cubic, body-centered cubic, face-centered cubic. Now coming to the important properties of the unit cells are, they are basically the types of the atoms and their radii are cell dimensions, side A in cubic cells, side of base A and height C in HCP in terms of R. Now next, n number of atoms per unit cell. For an atom that is shared with m adjacent unit cells, we only count a fraction of the atoms 1 by m. Next, Cn, the coordination number, which is the number of the closest neighbors to which an atom is bonded. Next, APF, the atomic packaging factor, which is the fraction of the volume of the cell actually occupied by the hard. Now coming to the next module, space lattice. According to the Haughey 1784, a crystal is built up by a number of the small crystals having a shape of the original crystal as a whole. This leads to the concept of the space lattice or the crystal lattice. A space lattice is an array of points showing how particles, atoms, ions or molecules are arranged at different sites in 3-dimensional space. A space lattice can be defined as a 3-dimensional array of the points, each of which has identical surroundings. If the periodicity along a line is A, then position of any point along the line can be obtained by a simple translation. RU is equals to UA. Similarly, RUV is equals to UA plus VV will repeat the points along a 2D plane where U and V are integers. Figure 5 shows how to calculate space lattice in any crystals. A crystal is a three-dimensional design in which identical points forms a three-dimensional network of the cells, each representing the unit and through which whole crystals can be built up. The lattice point can be connected by a regular network of lines in various ways. Thus, lattice is broken up into a number. Now coming to the next modules, symmetry. Symmetry refers to certain pattern or arrangement. A body is symmetrical when it reproduced by certain operations. Crystals, therefore minerals, have an ordered internal understanding of atoms. This ordered collection shows symmetry, that is, the atom is arranged in a symmetrical fashion on a three-dimensional network referred to as a lattice. When a crystal forms in an environment where there are no impediments to its growth, crystal faces from as smooth planar boundaries that make up the surface of the crystals. These crystal faces reflect the ordered internal arrangement of the atoms and thus reflect the symmetry of the crystal lattice. To see this, let us first imagine a small two-dimensional crystal composed of atoms in an ordered internal arrangement. If we rotate the simple crystals by 90 degree, notice that the lattice and the crystal look the same as what we started with. Rotate it another 90 degree and again it the same. Another 90 degree rotation again results in an identical crystal, and another 19 degree rotation returns the crystal to its original orientations. Thus, in an 360 degree rotations, the crystal has repeated itself or looks identical 4 times. We thus say that the object has 4-fold rotational symmetry. This figure 6 shows the all type of the rotations of the crystal showing their symmetry, right from 90 degree up to the 360 degree. Now coming to the symmetry and space lattice. Symmetry elements discussed so far define 5 types of the 2D space lattices. When a translation is applied to the third direction, these. Now coming to the next module, crystal systems. The space lattice points in a crystals are occupied by the atoms. The position of any atoms in the 3D lattice can be described by a vector RUVW is equals to UA plus VV plus WC, where U, V and W are the integers. This figure shows the 3 units vectors A, B, C can define a cell as shown by the shaded region in this figure, figure A. This cell is known as unit cell, figure B, which when repeated in the 3-dimensional generates the crystal structure, different type of the crystal. Now coming to the next module, Bravais lattice. It is occasionally possible to generate a lattice with higher symmetry if the lattice vector is selected so that one or more lattice points are also on the center of the face of the lattice or inside of the unit cell. These lattices with additional lattice point are described as centered lattices. Lattices with lattice points only on the corners are called the primitive and are designated with the symbol P. Note that reduced cells described above are always primitive. In 1849, Auguste Bravais found that all regular crystals could be described in terms of only 14 lattice types for the 7 crystal systems. Remember that the environments around any one lattice point is the same as the environment around any other lattice point. The unit vector A, B and C is called lattice parameters. Based on their length, equality or inequality and other orientation, the angle between them and 7 crystal systems can be defined with the centering, face, base and body centering added to these 14 kinds. Now coming to the next module, Miller indices. The orientation of the planes or the faces in the crystal can be described in terms of their intercepts on the 3 axes. Miller introduced a system to designate a plane in a crystal. He introduced a set of 3 numbers to specify a plane in a crystal. This set of 3 numbers is known as Miller indices of the concerned plane. Miller indices are defined as the reciprocals of the intercepts made by the plane on the 3 axes. Procedure for finding Miller indices. Step 1. Determine the intercept of the plane along the axis x, y and z in terms of the lattice constants a, b and c. Step 2. Determine the reciprocals of these numbers. Step 3. Find the least common denominator LCD and multiply each by this LCD. Step 4. The result is written in parentheses. This is called the Miller indices of the planes in the form HKL. This is called the Miller indices of the plane in the form HKL. Planes in the crystals are described by the notations called Miller indices. Miller indices of a plane indicated by the HKL are given by the reciprocal of the intercepts of the planes on the 3 axes. The planes which intersects x-axis at one lattice parameter and is parallel to y and z axes has Miller indices h equals to 1 by 1 equals to 1, k equals to 1 y equals to 0, l equals to 1 by equals to 0. This is written as HKL, that will be the equals to the 100. Miller indices of some other planes in the cubic system are shown in this figure. Now to find the Miller indices of a plane, follow these steps. Determine the intercepts of the plane along the crystal axes. Take the reciprocals, clear fractions, reduce to lowest terms and enclose in brackets. Example, intercepts on a, b, c equals to 3 by 4, 1 by 2, 1 by 4 HKL equals to 4 by 3, 2, 4 equals to 2, 3, 6. Planes can also have negative intercepts. Example 1, minus 1 by 2, 1 HKL equals to 1, minus 2, 1. This is denoted as 1, 2, 1. Family of planes HKL. Planes having similar indices are equivalent. Example, faces of the cube 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0 and 0, 0, 1. This is termed as a family of planes and denoted as 1, 0, 0, which includes all the 1, 0, 0 combinations including negative indices. Planes in the hexagonal systems, in the cubic system, all the faces of the cube are equivalent, that is, they have similar indices. In order to address this, a fourth axis a cube which is opposite to the vector sum of a1 and a2 is used as a corresponding fourth index I. Therefore, the indices of the plane is given by HKIL, where I equals to minus h plus k. Sometimes I is replaced with a dot and written as HK dot L. Wherever this is not the case in the hexagonal system, the 6 prism faces, for examples, have indices 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, which are not same. This figure shows the different planes in a hexagonal system. The indices of 6 faces now become 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1100, which are now equivalent and belongs. Now coming to the next module, interplanar spacing. The interplanar spacing DHKL between crystallographic planes belonging to the same family HKL is denoted DHKL. Distance between planes defined by the same set of Miller indices are unique for each material. The spacing between planes in a crystal is known as interplanar spacing and is denoted as DHKL. Interplanar spacing can be measured by X-ray diffractions, Brake's law. The lattice parameter A, B, C of a unit cell can then be calculated. The relationship between D and the lattice parameters can be determined geometrically and depends on the crystal system. This table shows the crystal system and the interplanar spacing, that is your DHKL. In the cubic crystal system, 1 upon d square is equals to h square plus k square plus l square divided by 1 square. For the tetragonal crystal system, DHKL is 1 upon d square is equals to h square plus k square divided by a square plus l square divided by c square. In the case of orthorhombic crystal system, DHKL is 1 upon d square is equals to h square divided by a square. Now coming to the next module, conclusion. Dear students, it is an important part of this particular X-ray spectrometry. With all these information, here we come to end of the today's lecture. Hope we have understood about X-ray spectrometry. X-ray spectrometry has a wide application in analysis of the crystal, its shape, size, orientation, etc. The topic we have discussed today is frequently applied for analysis of the different drug samples and could be well remembered by visiting nearby drug testing laboratories for understanding its practical aspects. So dear students, this is Dr. Shiv Shankar Shukla taking leave from you.